Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one it is winter games for the Commodore 64, which was released by Epyx in 1985. So this was the inevitable sequel to Summer Games, this time set during the Winter Olympics. So let's get a game underway. And well, we start with the old opening ceremony, where you can see that it follows the same general idea of the opening ceremony of the first Summer Games, but the graphics have been altered to show the winter surroundings, and also the graphics on the athlete and on the Olympic torch there have been improved. So all in all, it's pretty good presentation. And then it will take us into a very familiar looking menu. Now after the success of the first Winter Games, it was inevitable that this was going to come along. And I don't think there was a single person who wasn't happy to see this show up, which well, is why it was such a roaring success. I think if anything, this game was even more popular and even more successful than Summer Games was. Open to correction on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, let's get the name in. So who am I going to represent? I can't decide. Fuck it, I'll be the Soviet Union. Yeah. Right, well, it's only me, so get the game underway. We are going to compete in all of the events. I don't know why it does the opening ceremony twice, but we can press fire and skip it. So the first event is Hotdog, which at the time that this game came out, I don't think was an event in the Winter Olympics. It is now. There's all sorts of freestyle skiing events in the Winter Olympics now, but there wasn't when this was released. So this is basically performing somersaults and what have you on the on skis, and it's not as easy as it looks to get a decent score. So I'll have a quick go, and then I'll have a go at explaining it. Right, here we go. You get 3 attempts. So one somersault, there we go, managed to land it. Now, while you are doing the somersault, you need to hold the joystick in the direction of whatever particular move you are doing. But you have to hold it for the right time. If you hold it for too long or for not long enough, you hear this sort of quick groaning sound, and that tells you that the move you've done is incomplete or it isn't so great. And so your scores, you get some deductions. So instead of getting your scores in the 9s, you get them all in like the high 7s, like I've got here. Nevertheless, a total of 7.8 isn't too bad. So let's try again. Yeah, so not only did you hear the mess I made of that with the that groan sound, but you also saw that the skis didn't stay together very long, so yeah, not too good. Well, hence only 4.9. Right, let's try one more then. Third and final attempt. Held that too long. So again, high 8s, but it could have been better if I'd released the joystick a bit sooner. That's it, only 3 attempts. 3 attempts per player. This is another one where, well, like summer games, if you had 2 or more players, it gets better the more players there are. You could have up to 8 players on this, just as you could in summer games. So next event is Biathlon, which is my favourite event of the entire game. In fact, I would probably go so far as to say this is my favourite event of all of the game's series. It doesn't actually start until you cross that start line. So speed, time are all self-explanatory. Hit, of course it's a biathlon, so there is shooting. So that's the number of targets you've hit. Miss, obviously number of targets you've missed. Shots, we've got 20, so still have, well, I haven't fired a shot yet. The pulse is important. You also have in that empty box, it does actually show the beating heart once you get underway. The higher your pulse, the faster the sights move when you're firing, so the more difficult it is to actually score a hit. So the only parts that I really have trouble with on the Biathlon are actually getting started and the uphill section. But well, let's have a go. So off we go. So you want to get into a bit of a rhythm. You don't need to waggle the joystick fast. Then we go downhill here, that way you can build up a good bit of speed. Then we get to the uphill bit, that's the hard part. And then we're back onto the horizontal. And now back to the uphill section. I'm actually doing relatively okay here. So the first shooting part, load the bullet, hit them all, that's not bad. Oh, I was really slowing down towards the end there. So pulse is up to, it's now going down 120, but it's about to go up again as I try and get up here. There we go. So we're now up to 125. Still not bad. There we go. So I haven't missed any of the shots yet. Famous last words, I probably won't hit a single fucking one now. Get up there. With each target you miss, you incur, I think it's 5 seconds time penalty, which is added to your time at the end. Oh no, I made a right fuck up of getting up here. There we go. So that's really hurting my time now. Nowhere near it. So I've missed one. Nevertheless, only missing one so far. That's not doing too bad. And actually my time doesn't look too bad either. I thought that it was the shooting range then, but no. So I think shooting range, final shooting range is at the next screen. Yeah, here we go. It's always that penultimate one, so I've missed 2 in total. That's not too bad though. And then carry on to the finish line. That's not a bad time actually, 2:25. So yeah, only 2 misses, so 2:35 is my total time. I'm quite pleased with that, that's doing quite well. Alright. So yeah, new record. Old record just looks like complete garbage. I'm actually quite confident that that would have got me a gold medal time in most multiplayer goes of that. Right, so next event is speed skating. Speed skating uses the same sort of control method as rowing in Summer Games 2, where again it is joystick waggling, but you need to do it in a rhythm rather than out and out speed. So here we go. You only get one attempt. The hardest part is actually getting your speed up, but once it is up, you're okay keeping it there. It's not too difficult to keep the speed going. The actual race is fairly short. I can't remember what the distance is. I think it's 300 meters, which in speed skating is next to nothing. So we're at 200. There we go, so it's 250. So yeah, that's sod all. So won that one quite easily against the pacer. So, oh, what a surprise, I got the gold medal. So one area where they've definitely improved things over Summer Games is with the overall presentation, the music at the start of each event. Graphics are overall much improved. Here we go then with figure skating. Now I'm not a fan of either of the skating events. You have this one, and then later on you have free skating. So we have a minute of this. Now what you need to do with the free skating, or figure skating sorry, is you have to complete a series of moves. So here, then we'll move then into the downward one, and fucked it up. I was trying to get out of that move. Now we want to do, didn't get off to a good start there. The positioning of the skater's legs is how to judge when to do the jump. So I haven't done any of the jumps well. That one was better, and that one was better. You have to press fire on the landing in order to try and perfect the landing. Yeah, made a real mess of that jump as well. I'm going to risk trying to fit another jump in, and you've got to be facing forwards at the end, otherwise you fall. And there we go. Terrible scores. I usually do a bit better than that, but not much better. I'm usually about like 2.2 or something, so 1.6 is really not very good, but at least that event's over with. So I'm not a fan of either of the figure skating events, but 1.6 was still enough to get me gold. Alright, so next event is ski jump. Again, I mean, graphically I think it looks fantastic. They've done a really good job on getting the actual ski jump there, including the part that a lot of people get wrong when they're showing the ski jump. It is flat at the bottom. It doesn't sort of, you know, curve upwards. It should be flat, which it is. So, right, here we go then with attempt one. You have to press fire to jump. So then you need to position yourself. I made a real bollocks up of that landing. So I got the distance points but no style points because I didn't land it. Right, let's try that again. There we go. So a distance of 57.8. In fact, distance points 173. There's no telemark landing or anything like that. It is just entirely 2-foot landing. Mind you, in 85 they weren't doing telemark landings, so I actually prefer it when they weren't doing telemark. So even though I landed that jump, I've only got 9.3 more than my first attempt. Right, so third and final attempt, here we go. Again, you don't want to be moving around too much. Oh, that's a pretty good distance. 63.3, very nice. Style points are much better as well, so total points 202. That's definitely one of my better ones. And there we go, so that's ski jump done. Oh, I was surprised I got gold. Next is the second and final figure skating event. So yeah, free skating. Now with free skating, it goes on for longer, but there's no compulsory moves. You can do whatever you like. So, oh yeah, and the music changes as well. So here we go. Unfortunately, it's all the same moves again. So let's see if I can do better than last time. That's better. Yeah, I'm doing better so far. Now, let's see if I can do the bit that I got wrong last time. No, horrible start. And didn't come out of it very well, but at least I didn't bloody fall. I think I said at the last one, you need to press fire when you land, otherwise you fall. Press fire a bit too soon then, and then got that timing wrong with that jump. The landing was good, but the launching wasn't very good. So let's try again. That's better. Made a fuck up of the takeoff and the landing there. Fucked up the takeoff again, and didn't do a good job of the landing. Okay. Try a forward one then. Again, didn't do the landing very well. That was better. Fucked up the so the launch was crap, but the landing was okay. And again, launch is crap. If you do too many of these, you obviously fall again, which is none too good. Right, let's try and squeeze in a couple more jumps before the time runs out. Okay, that's it. It's not going to score very highly, that's for sure. Bloody hell, I got some in the threes. Alright, I'll take it back. That was one of my better goes. 2.8 total. So I think the next event is Bobsleigh, which is the last event as well. Bobsleigh, it's a fairly short event, but you do have 3 attempts at it. It's pretty self-explanatory how you're playing this one. Just get around the course. You can use brakes, but I never do because, well, it slows you down. So, so you want to try and stay as close to flat as possible. Otherwise, well, it will slow you down, and if you go too high, you crash. So I'll get a banker run in. So 21.85, that's about average time. So let's try it then and speed it up a bit. There we go. Fuck that one up. That one wasn't so bad. Again, it's, yeah, didn't do too well on either of those. Yeah, too slow. Okay, so for a third attempt, I'll show you what happens when you crash. There you go. So 21.85 is my time. Well, it'll still get me the gold medal. New record. Yeah, well, the old record must have been pretty shit then. And that is it. That is Winter Games. So what do I think of it? I think it's fucking superb. It's very tough for me to choose the best between Summer Games, Winter Games and Summer Games 2. They're all very, very close, but this may just shade it, and I mean just. As I mean, all three games are superb. This one certainly has better presentation than the first Summer Games. Things like the opening ceremony look better, and then the introductions to each of the events. I mean, you can see that graphically all round this is a lot better than Summer Games, you know, the first one. But having things like the music at the start and at the end of each event just adds a little bit to it. I know music is never Epyx's strong point, but the music in this game isn't too bad. The national anthems still sound awful, but and the gameplay, as I say, in all of the events, even the two figure skating events that I'm not that keen on, the controls are simple, or at least understanding them is simple, but being able to put them into practice is a different matter. It does take quite a bit of practice, you know, to get any good at any of the events, just to become even like competent at some of the events, let alone become good at them. And then I'll say, well, with the exception of the two figure skating ones, which I'm not so keen on, the events are all really well done, extremely enjoyable. The Hotdog event I think is really good. Biathlon, as I say, I think the Biathlon is the best event in any of the games series. The ski jump is well done, speed skating is well done, and the Bobsleigh event is well done. So you can't really get much better than that. I will rate this 9 out of 10, and I suspect that everyone watching this had already either at least played Winter Games before back in the day, but if you are one of the few who's never played it before, I urge you to give it a try. It's superb. And if you did have it back in the day, or did at least play it, well, grab the disc image and play it again, because it's well worth going back to. So that is Winter Games then for the Commodore 64, 9 out of 10, absolutely fantastic game. That brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.